I'm Amy Williams, Acting Director of the Harry S. Truman Library and Museum in Independence, Missouri, one of 13 presidential libraries operated by the National Archives and Records Administration. Fireball Run contestants, welcome to Mr. Truman's Library.
Tight deadline. A lot of people here, and if you get stuck at the back of the line, you're going to be here a while, I think, because it's one team at a time.
Well, we had wondered from the beginning what the really epic thing was going to be that he said that even another U.S. president wouldn't be able to do.
Like, we're going to get to hold the documents, the actual documents that he signed. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
I was born in Israel at that time. I watched on TV when he was actually signing the document that I'm going to hold now in my hands. So for me, it's very important.
This is the American statement recognizing the new state of Israel in 1948. You'll recognize Truman's last-minute handwritten changes to the document. The American recognition came shortly after midnight in Palestine, just minutes after the new state was proclaimed. Harry Truman's family was Southern by background. His grandparents on both sides were slave owners. And despite this, Harry Truman became the first American president since the Civil War to make any serious efforts in the area of civil rights for African American and minorities. His most famous was his successful desegregation of the American Armed Forces, a reproduction of which you can see here. The original is housed in our archives on the other side of our facility.
And we're going to the White House Decision Center, which is a recreation of a 1948 West Wing. That's where the president meets with his cabinet and advisors. And we built our own West Wing here to create a White House Decision Center education program where we can teach about Harry Truman and his decisions. Here's the document I was telling you about.
Yes.
It's Truman's recognition of Israel.
Welcome here.
Thank you.
We have a couple of documents out that are very historic, great historical importance. The one on the left here, on my left, is the original draft of the statement announcing that the U.S. government was granting diplomatic recognition to the new government of Israel. When they typed it, they didn't know the name of the country yet, so they typed in a new Jewish state. And then they found out that the name of the country would be Israel. They added it, as you can see, in pencil there.
It's amazing.
And Mr. Truman signed it and carefully dated it. And the other document was signed just a short time later, July 26, 1948. He issued this executive order, which we have a signature there on the back, July 26, 1948, number 9981, that announced the end of racial segregation. Up until this time, there have been segregated units by race in the military. Truman put an end to that, set into motion the policy to end racial discrimination and segregation in the military.
These are two of the most important documents in the history of the world.
Well, they're certainly very important. Yeah.
You guys get to hold them. Go ahead and put your hands on them. They'll let you hold them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You're very welcome.
We appreciate your introduction.
Thank you for coming.
I was
by.
born in Israel. So I just watched the original document that President Truman signed in 1948, recognizing the establishment of the State of Israel. America declared the independence for Israel, and I was there. I was born in 1941, so I was 7 years old when it happened, and I remember it very well, and I'm very happy that I did it here.
And now we have this seemingly simple document. A quickly scribbled note from Harry S. Truman to Secretary of War Henry Stimson saying release when ready, but no sooner than August 2nd. He is referring to the press release, which is on the opposite side of the document. Harry Truman signed this July 31st, 1945, as he was preparing to leave the Potsdam Conference to return to the United States. It is, in essence, the closest thing we have to an official written record of his authorizing the atomic bombs.
We are going to look at a release when ready document from President Truman.
Welcome. Thank you. Welcome.
Ooh,
a couple special things to show you here this afternoon.
Very nice.
What we have here for you this afternoon are some atomic bomb related items of great historical significance. And this is the only thing we've ever found that has presidential written authorization to use the atomic bomb. HST Harry S. Truman to the Secretary of War. Suggestions approved, release when ready, but not sooner than August 2nd. Truman was at a conference in Europe when this was written. And there's no other written evidence we've ever found concerning it. Technically, Truman was approving the use of the press release concerning the bomb, but actually it was essentially the same thing. Sure. By approving the press release, he's approving the use of the bomb itself. The bomb had been successfully tested just 2 weeks before in the New Mexico desert. When Truman is in Potsdam, he's informed that that successful test had occurred. And so he had a meeting with the Secretary of War, and the remarkable thing is it's the informality of this document.
And the firing plug is the plug from the actual bomb.
Yes. August 6th, the first atomic bomb is dropped on Hiroshima. 3 days later, the second atomic bomb is dropped in Nagasaki. What we have here is the safety plug that actually was in the bomb that was dropped on Nagasaki. It was the atomic bomb, a plutonium bomb called Fat Man, which was the nickname for the bomb that was dropped on Nagasaki, Japan. The crew removed it and replaced it with an activating plug, which was red. Now that was incinerated.
Wow, it's almost makes you shake holding it, just thinking about the history, doesn't it? Wow.
It does. In the bomb that was dropped on Nagasaki, that second bomb. Wow. And the bomb was called Fat Man because of its round shape.
Well, I doubt we'll ever get to see this again. Amazing. All right, end of the war from these two things. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Awesome.
Do it. Okay.
That's cool. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for that opportunity. That's wow, that is great. Let's go ahead and get oil in your gloves. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That's tremendous. That was absolutely incredible. I mean, the atomic bomb, of course, was the decision point, the end of World War II. So to see that document authorizing the release of that is just unbelievable. And then the plug for Nagasaki is pretty cool too. I mean, that's.
Well, you think one piece of paper like that changed the whole world and put the rest of the future of the world in a different course of action. Pretty amazing.
When Truman made that decision, he had to know that by signing that with just his three initials, that 30,000 people were going to die. Because when that bomb dropped, it wiped out one. And that's just, I mean, it must have been heavy on his heart to do it. Pretty incredible.
And last, we have President Truman's working office. He came here 5 days a week from nearly 10 years after we opened in 1957. It was here he wrote his memoirs, he greeted friends and family, and entertained world leaders who came to ask for favors from the former president. This office is closed to the public, and it is a very, very rare opportunity for a VIP to be able to step into this building and feel what others must have felt when they came to visit with the former president.
It's exciting. Particularly for me and my job as a state representative, to be able to come to where President was from Missouri and to experience his office.
And here you go. Here's Mr. John Miller. He'll help you from here.
The President's office is the rarest moment of all. Access to this room-sized time capsule is absolutely unheard of. Even library staff isn't permitted inside.
The office was part of the library and was built in 1957. The last individual to come into the office that wasn't staff was Kofi Annan, as he was the Director General of the United Nations. And so this is a special privilege. This is the way that President Truman basically left the office when he stopped making daily visits to the library in July 1966. In 1957, when the library was built, this was specifically planned to be his office.
So this is physically his office that he came in and worked out of when he was here?
Yes, and this is where he met with President Hoover, Eleanor Roosevelt, Johnson, Eisenhower, any bigwigs that came through, political figures or celebrities, he would meet in this office.
I feel pretty respectful right now, kind of in awe, being in a place like this where a man did so much for our country. It does bring you down a little bit from some of the days' hyperactivity that we've had. It makes you feel very solemn.
They come on and they're on for 10 minutes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Oh boy, you can almost like feel the president in there. It's just it was so preserved. The pictures on the desk, nobody ever gets to sit in there. It's very sacred, and it's just he worked there, and it's interesting to see how it was set up for that.
So we just got to go through there, and it was just absolutely amazing. You can feel Harry Truman's presence in that room. It's amazing. It's such a reverent place. It's incredible.
Although the rarest moment is over, the game isn't.
We just left the Harry Truman Museum and Library, and we got to go down into a place where the public does not get to go, and we actually got to touch the original documents that he signed, which was pretty spectacular.
We just had an opportunity at the Truman Library to see the safety plug that came out of the atomic bomb before they dropped them on Hiroshima.
The big boy.
Nagasaki.